Why would I invest in alternatives in the latter half of the 2020s? Haven't I missed the boat?
I don't think you've missed the boat at all. Really, since the GFC, which is obviously some time ago now, it's been a really interesting place to invest, and there's been some great outcomes for investors if you've done the work and you've done the research and you've invested into the right areas. We think that it's a space which is continuing to grow. The number of listed companies is continuing to shrink, and the number of private companies is really growing. So I don't think you've missed the boat at all. You do have to do your work, but that's the same as any type of investing. So if you can do the due diligence, if you can select the managers, partners to work with, there's some really exciting opportunities.
When I'm thinking about how can we explain the attractions of alternatives to investors, you made a case on both sides. One is that private markets are growing, but also that public markets aren't necessarily growing. And so it's almost like if you want to stay appropriately diversified and have a stake in the economic success of your economy, it's difficult actually to ignore private markets, isn't it?
I think it is getting harder to ignore them. I'd agree. I think they are becoming a more prevalent part of the overall investment sort of universe, whether it's on the equity side or the debt side, whether it's infrastructure, all areas. The private markets are growing and growing. And I think as an investor, really you want to be diversified. You want to have different sources of return coming into your portfolio. That's what makes a resilient portfolio. So ignoring a large part of the overall investment universe is most probably not the best thing to do. It's a really exciting thing, really interesting thing, and we think will enable you to build a better, more robust portfolio over time.
And increasingly that applies to all types of investors. Do you cater to all types of investors?
We do. So historically, private markets have really been the sort of realm of endowments and pension funds and things like that. So institutional investors. Developments in fund structures, really in regulation, as the market has grown, has enabled the market to open up and become more accessible to individuals. At the moment, really, it's sort of the high net worth segments that can access that. But there's the democratization of alternatives, which a lot of people talk about, which is happening. And we are, playing our part in that. We think it's a really interesting development. Needs to be, approached sensibly, but we think it's an exciting development for the industry and for investors to be able to access those markets, access those return drivers.